Jane and I and Pat McMurray met almost 2 years ago in the Love Inc. offices, and I introduced the idea of having a coffee shop that would employ folks on the autism spectrum or all sorts of different areas where they would have trouble with employment. And it didn't take long for Pat and Jane to jump right on board and say that that was something that Columbia could use, and we started working on it.
Pat and I founded Love Inc. of Columbia about 12 years ago, and one of the things that we have done through the organization is find ways for neighbors to help neighbors. And we have taken lots of phone calls from our neighbors in need and discovered that one of the things people need most is employment, and particularly those who have some type of a barrier or a challenge to employment. We have tried to hire folks through the Love Seat resale store and furniture bank through the years, but we honestly needed more places for that. As you might be able to notice on this video, I'm blind. 70% of those who are blind are unemployed, but overall, people with disabilities have always double-digit unemployment rates, usually at least 34%. And so we think Columbia can do better than that. And we can provide a place for people to come and have a wonderful work environment and also offer a beautiful living room for the city, in a sense, on the business loop.
I have a 28-year-old son on the autism spectrum, and I've been involved for years now looking for the right place for him and others like him. I think that working and having a job is a fundamental human need, and a lot of times we focus on disability rather than ability. I've known Chuck for a while through Special Olympics and became aware that he was developing a coffee shop, and I knew immediately that I wanted to be part of that initiative, so I contacted Chuck and pretty much just forced my way into this.
My wife introduced me to Jane. She said, "Are you a baker?" I said, "Well, actually I am. I've worked professionally in that industry for 18 years. And she said, "We have to have you." And she shared briefly Chuck and Jane's and Pat's vision for the cafe. And I personally just instantly fell in love with just that vision. I've always known that there would be some sort of a way to help individuals. I feel very blessed to have met Jane, to be able to walk in that calling that I've known I've always had. With cookies and cinnamon rolls, you know, it's very repetitive, and I think that that could really, you know, provide some comfort to these individuals who have barriers to employment. So our cafe does plan on offering more than just a full coffee bar. We'll have a small breakfast menu with scone, witch, and crepes, fresh fruit yogurt parfaits. Also, we'll offer a small lunch menu, soups, salads, and sandwiches, soup du jour every day. And we'll also have a full stocked, freshly baked pastry case, cinnamon rolls, stuffed scones, cookies, biscotti, things like that.
We're under the 501c3 name Love My Job Training Center, doing business as Love Coffee, and we finally have a lease signed, the location. We're right across the street from Bob McCosh Chevrolet. We hope to be open sometime in January. We are currently interviewing potential employees in the developmental and intellectual disability categories, but also veterans and refugees and all folks that would have had trouble finding employment. The coffee shop seemed to be an area where we could employ individuals with varying levels of abilities, all the way from a barista that would have to know a lot about making coffee to a greeter that might be on a different set of skills.
I think the other thing about the model of a coffee shop is it really represents community. So many times these folks don't have that sort of social network that most of us just take for granted. And when I think of a coffee shop, I think of a place that's just overrun with people sitting and chatting and sharing stories and sharing food. And I think this is an opportunity for people who otherwise might not have that kind of a opportunity on a daily basis to be part of community.
And we're hoping that we're able to set up some regular events in the evening, probably Friday and Saturday nights, where we have people come in and do training and how to cook or how to bake or how to dance or how to sing or how to play the guitar or whatever it might be.
And it's obviously revitalizing lives, but it's also a part of the business loop revitalization. So we're excited to be on the business loop, and a lot of effort is going into the business loop right now. And there's not a coffee shop right around us. We think it's meeting a need for that neighborhood, and that just bringing a whole range of different types of people together is just going to be a beautiful addition